Take a moment and think about this. Sometimes a person can walk into your life without saying anything special, yet something about them stays with you. It is not because they were the loudest person in the room. It is not because they looked perfect or tried to impress everyone around them. It is because they made you feel something that was difficult to explain. That feeling remained long after the conversation ended. Many people believe attraction begins with appearance, clever words, or perfect timing. But real connection usually starts much deeper than that. It begins in places that logic cannot fully describe. Have you ever noticed that the people we remember the most are often not the ones who demanded attention? They were calm without trying to appear mysterious. They listened without rushing to speak. They carried themselves with quiet confidence instead of constantly looking for approval. That kind of presence cannot be copied by following a list of dating tips. It grows from knowing yourself and feeling comfortable with who you are. When someone has that inner peace, other people naturally become curious about them. Many women spend years learning how to become more attractive on the outside. They learn about fashion, makeup, photos, and social media. There is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself, but those things only create first impressions. They rarely create lasting memories. A man may notice beauty in a moment, but he remembers the woman who made him see life differently. He remembers the one who helped him feel understood without making him explain every emotion he carried inside. This is where many people become confused. They believe attraction is about getting attention as quickly as possible. They think every message should receive an immediate reply. Every conversation should lead somewhere. Every silence should be filled. But real emotional connection often grows during the quiet moments. It grows while two people slowly learn about each other instead of rushing towards certainty. The strongest feelings usually need time before they become clear. Think about your favorite movie. Often the most emotional scene is not the final kiss or the dramatic confession. It is the moment before those things happen. Two people look at each other. Neither of them speaks. The audience already feels the emotion before a single word is said. That moment is powerful because anticipation allows feelings to grow naturally. Life often works the same way. We do not become attached because everything happens immediately. We become attached because something inside us keeps wondering what comes next. Carl Jung believed that much of human behavior is influenced by parts of ourselves that remain hidden. Whether you agree with every idea he shared or not, there is something meaningful about recognizing that people are often guided by emotions they cannot fully explain. Sometimes a man cannot tell you exactly why one woman remains in his thoughts while another quickly fades away. He only knows that something about her felt real, something about her reached a part of him that everyday conversations rarely touched. Many people spend too much energy trying to appear perfect. They worry about saying the right words, wearing the right clothes, or acting in ways they believe others will admire. Ironically, perfection often creates distance. It feels difficult to relate to someone who never appears human. Real connection grows when someone feels honest. Confidence does not mean pretending to have every answer. It means being comfortable enough to accept that you do not need to impress everyone. Imagine walking through a crowded place where everyone is looking down at their phones, conversations are rushed, faces look tired, then someone enters with calm energy. She is not demanding attention. She is simply present. She notices the world around her instead of trying to make the world notice her. People begin looking up without understanding why. Her confidence is quiet rather than loud. She makes others feel calm simply by being calm herself. That kind of presence cannot be purchased, copied, or faked for very long. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that attraction comes from constant effort. They think sending more messages, giving more compliments, or always being available will automatically create stronger feelings. While kindness is important, emotional connection cannot be forced. Feelings develop when two people have room to breathe. When someone is always trying to control every moment, the relationship begins to feel like work instead of discovery. Curiosity is one of the strongest emotional forces in any relationship. Human beings naturally move toward what they want to understand. That does not mean playing games or pretending not to care. It means allowing your life to remain full even while getting to know someone new. A woman who has her own interests, friendships, dreams, and peace brings something valuable into every conversation. She is inviting someone into an already meaningful life, instead of expecting another person to create one for her. People often confuse independence with emotional distance, but they are not the same thing. Independence means knowing that your happiness is not completely controlled by another person's choices. You can love deeply while still respecting yourself. You can care about someone without abandoning your own values. That balance creates trust because it shows emotional strength rather than emotional fear. Many relationships become difficult because people rush to remove every uncertainty. They want clear answers immediately. They ask where everything is going before the relationship has had time to grow naturally. While honesty is always important, there is also value in allowing experiences to unfold step by step. Trust is not built in a single conversation. It is built through many small moments that slowly prove two people can depend on each other. Think about the people who make you feel safe. They usually do not talk endlessly about being trustworthy. They simply behave in ways that earn your confidence over time. The same idea applies to attraction. Lasting influence does not come from convincing someone to like you. It comes from consistently showing qualities that naturally inspire respect, comfort, and admiration. The kind of presence that stays in someone's mind long after the conversation has ended. So the next time you feel the need to rush towards certainty, slow down. Give space. Allow curiosity to grow. Allow him the chance to move closer on his own. Let him wonder about you. Let him feel your absence. Because people often overlook what is always available, but they deeply value what they feel they could lose. You do not have to reach across the distance. You do not have to prove your worth. You do not have to chase after attention. Sometimes your strongest quality is simply being there with confidence, calmness, peace, and emotional balance, allowing the space between two people to create its own connection. If you have ever felt like you were too much for someone or never enough, if you have ever drained yourself trying to earn someone's affection and ended up feeling empty, remember this. You do not become unforgettable by constantly seeking someone's attention. You become unforgettable by creating a presence that leaves a mark on someone's heart, even after you are no longer around. Learn the value of waiting before reaching out, the importance of breathing before reacting, and the strength of silence that can express more than words ever can. Attraction does not begin when he finally chooses to come toward you. It begins when he starts wondering whether that moment will happen at all. And that is only the beginning. What we are exploring next is not about creating separation. It is about creating a deeper connection. Once you understand how to leave an impression on his mind without trying too hard, he will not only think about you when you are present, he will carry the feeling of you even when you are far away. Let us explore this further. The mind is where real emotional connection begins. Physical attraction may create a first impression, but the mind is what keeps returning to that memory. If your goal is to get a man's attention for a short moment, make everything obvious. But if your goal is to remain in his thoughts long after you leave, create an impact in a quieter and deeper way. Many people fail to understand this. Physical attraction responds to what is directly visible, but the mind works differently. The mind creates meaning. It develops stories. It connects pieces together. It fills empty spaces. This is where a stronger bond begins to form. It is not created only through constant closeness. It grows through emotions, curiosity, imagination, and the feelings that remain after an interaction is over. Think about this. You walk past a bakery and suddenly notice the smell of fresh cinnamon and warm pastries. You have not tasted anything. You have not even looked inside, but your imagination immediately creates a picture. Your mind completes the experience before reality even begins. That is the power of suggestion. The same idea applies to attraction. Women who remain memorable understand that they do not need to explain everything. They do not share every thought or feeling immediately. They leave some space for imagination. Instead of saying, "I miss you," they may express something playful like, "If you were here right now, we would probably get ourselves into some kind of trouble." Notice the difference. One sentence simply gives information, the other creates a scene. It invites curiosity, it encourages imagination. When you communicate this way, you give him something to return to later. Something that stays in his mind during quiet moments. Something that makes him wonder why he is still thinking about you. Carl Jung often explained that the unconscious mind responds strongly to symbols and impressions rather than simple facts. The lesson is clear. Speak less, but create more meaning. Allow deeper messages to exist beneath the surface. When someone becomes connected to a feeling instead of just a performance, the relationship reaches another level. At that point, you are no longer only someone he met. You become an experience connected with emotion, and emotions often remain much longer than ordinary attraction. Now we move toward one of the strongest qualities a woman can develop: stillness. Stillness can speak louder than seduction. In a world filled with constant noise, the person who remains calm and centered often becomes the one people remember most. Think about it. Modern life encourages constant movement. Everyone is trying to gain attention. Everyone wants to be noticed, selected, and appreciated. Yet the person who feels no pressure to prove themselves immediately becomes different from everyone else. Many people believe a stronger connection requires more effort, more talking, more explanations, more entertainment, and more convincing. But true presence often communicates more than trying to impress. Imagine entering a crowded room. People are speaking loudly. Conversations are happening everywhere. Everyone is trying to stand out. Then you notice someone quietly enjoying the moment, relaxed, comfortable, and completely at peace. She is not demanding attention, yet attention naturally moves toward her. Why? Because confidence without needing approval is uncommon. That is the strength of stillness. Stillness does not mean weakness. It does not mean doing nothing. It means owning yourself. It communicates, "I do not need to force anything. I am comfortable with who I am." That kind of energy is naturally attractive. When you stop filling every silence, stop trying too hard to impress, and stop searching for constant validation, you become much more interesting. Jung believed that real understanding comes from looking inward instead of constantly searching outside yourself. Stillness reflects that inner confidence. It appears when you no longer need everyone else's approval to recognize your own value. People can feel that difference, especially men. They can sense the contrast between someone looking for attention and someone who already understands her worth. So the next time you feel the urge to explain too much or give more than necessary, pause. Allow a little silence. Let the moment exist without trying to control every part of it. Because sometimes that space creates more attraction than countless extra words ever could.